In this video, I will show you all the features of MxWork, which is A3J Group's mobile solution for managing work orders in Maximo. When you launch MxWork on your mobile device, you will be taken to the login screen. On the login screen, you will enter your Maximo URL, username, and password in order to log in. Click on the login button to log in. When you log in successfully, you will see a list of work orders populate on the home screen. On the list of work orders, you will see basic information about each work order, such as the description, the work order number, the status type, the location, and the asset for that specific work order. At the top right, you'll see a search work orders field. This is where you can actually search for specific work orders. For example, if you wanted to search for work order number 1013, you would simply go up there, type in 1013, and it'll show you any work order that has that number in it. So in this case, there's 3 work orders that populated. You also have the option on the right side to scan a barcode to find a work order. To do so, just click on the barcode button on the right side, which will launch the camera on your mobile device. Scan the barcode. It'll then search for the work order. And we get the same results this time, 3 work orders. Also, at the top of the screen, right below the search work orders field, you'll see 3 buttons: the work order, description, and status button. Those are sort buttons, so you can sort the list of work orders by work order number, work order description, or even the status type. If you want to refresh your list of work orders, you simply just drag down on the screen and it will refresh the list of work orders. If you need to load more work orders, you simply just scroll down to the bottom of the list and it'll keep loading more work orders as you go down the list. By default, it'll load 10 work orders at a time. There is a way to change that, and we'll get into that later on. Now, if you want to open a work order and see the details of that work order, you simply just find the work order that you want to open. We'll open the very first one on the list. This will show you the details of the work order, such as the work order number, the site, location, etc. These fields are configurable, so if there's a field that you want to see on the screen, we can add that. The next tab over will be your tasks. So if there's any tasks on your work order, it'll be displayed down here. The next tab will be your work logs, where you get to see your work logs for that specific work order. And if you have any attachments on the work order, you can see them on the very last tab here. You can actually display JPEG images by clicking on them. If there's any signatures on the work order, you can see those as well. You can also watch video files of different type of video types. So in this case, there's an MP4 file video that we can watch. Click on that, it'll play the video. And also you can view PDFs as well. So if you click on the PDF, you'll be able to see the PDF file. If you're inside of a work order and if you want to get to another work order, like the next one on the list, you can simply just swipe left to go to the next work order on the list, or at the top right, you'll see a left and right arrow button. You can click on one of those to go back and forth through the work orders. Or like I said, you can swipe in either direction to get to the next work order or the previous work order. Also, when you're inside of a work order, if you click on the hamburger menu at the top left, you'll see other options you can use on the work orders. For example, you can complete a work order depending on the status of the work order. You can edit a work order, you can sign a work order, you can add labor time to a work order. You can add work logs, and you can also attach pictures to a work order from the camera on your mobile device or even from the library on your device. We'll get into more of those later on in this video. But let's first go and create a work order. So if you go back to the home page and you click on that same hamburger menu, you now have the option to create a work order. To create a work order, you would just click on Create WO. You'll see a list of assets and locations populate on your screen from your Maximo environment. You can search for a location or asset using that search field at the top, or you can scan a barcode if you had one for either asset or location. For this example, we're going to create a work order based off of an asset, and we're going to search for a pump. We'll select the first one. The next step is to name your work order. So in the description field, we'll just give it a name. We'll just say that this is a pump issue, and we'll give it a work type. We'll say it's corrective maintenance for this one. Click on next to go to the next step. So this is now a summary of what your work order will look like. You have the option of attaching an image to your work order if you'd like, and you can do so by clicking on that gray button at the top right. You can either take a photo or you can attach a photo from your library. For this example, I will take a photo which will launch the camera from my mobile device, take a picture of my keyboard, and you get to see a preview of the image itself. Click on Attach Picture to attach it. And the last step is to actually create the work order. And to do so, you just click on that Create and Start Work Order button at the very top. And it has now created a work order in Maximo with the attachment that you just attached. And you're also taken right to the detail page of that work order as well. So if you wanted to see the image that you attached to the work order, you simply click on that very last tab, which is the attachment tab, and click on the attachment file. And this is the image that you just took from your mobile device. And as I mentioned before, MxWork has options for you to interact with your work order. So if you go inside of your work order, and if you click on the hamburger menu at the top left, you have these options available to you. For this example, let's go ahead and edit a work order. To do so, just click on Edit WO. And these fields allow you to change the work order. So the description field will allow you to change the name of the work order itself. So let's say there's a pump issue inside room 1. Let's say there's a priority on this, so let's say the priority is 2, and let's say the work type is now an emergency maintenance. So once you have all those fields updated, you can go ahead and update the work order. And if you go back to the details section of the work order, you'll see all the changes that are made. You'll see the description has been changed, the work type, and the priority has also been changed. If you navigate over to the work log tab on the work order, you'll notice that there are no work logs currently. To add a work log, just click on the hamburger menu at the top left. Click on Add Work Log. And this is where you will create your work log. So for this example, we'll just say the description is a work log, and the long description, we'll just say a work log, long description. Click on Add Work Log to Work Order, and you'll now see the work log that you created in your Maximo work order. MxWork also has a feature where you can sign a work order. So on your work order, if you click on the hamburger menu at the top left, click on Sign WO. You're now given the option to enter your signature in this blank canvas. So with your fingertip, or if you have a stylus or something, you can just enter your signature. And you can put your name on there, which is it's optional, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can. I'll put my name. And then once you're good to go, click on the sign button to submit your signature. And your signature will be stored on the attachment section of the work order. So you'll see at the very bottom, you'll see that there's a signature and it was signed by Kevin. You click on that, you'll get to see the signature itself. If you have labor time you need to enter on the work order itself, you can do that in MxWork as well. So if you go back into your work order, click on the menu button at the top left, click on labor time, you can actually choose the start date for the labor time. In this case, let's say we did some work on the 25th of April, so you can change the date there. And then we did about 3 hours of work. So you put 3 hours there and click on the Add Labor to Work Order. So your time has successfully been entered in Maximo against this work order. So not only can you take a picture from your camera and attach it to your work order, you can also attach an existing image from your device. So to do that, go to your work order, click on the menu button, click on Attach Picture. If you click on From Library, you have the option to select an image or a photo from your library. So in this case, we'll add a forklift image. There's a preview of what it'll look like. Go ahead and click on Attach Picture. That picture is now available on your attachment list for that work order. Click on that attachment, and you'll get to see the image that you just uploaded. Now let's say this work order is complete and you want to change the status to complete. All you have to do is go back into your work order, click on the menu button, click on Complete Well to complete the work order. You can add a memo or a note if you need to, or you can just click on Change Status of Work Order, which will change the status to Comp. And there you go. Another feature that MxWork has is the ability to view saved queries that you have saved in the work order tracking application in Maximo. So to get to your saved queries, just click on the menu button at the top left, click on Save Queries, and you'll see the list of queries that you have saved in your work order tracking application in Maximo. You'll see numbers on the right side of each saved query. These numbers represent how many records are available in each of those queries. So for example, if I were to click on the environmental group work orders, that number 2 represents 2 records in that query. If you want to clear the query, all you have to do is click on the X next to the query name at the top, which will then route you back to the home page and load your work orders. Now at the beginning of this video, we talked about how MxWork loads 10 work orders at a time. If you want to change that, you can actually go to the settings. So if you click on the menu and go to settings, there's an option that says records to show. You can actually change that number to any number you would like. But obviously the higher the number, the longer it'll take for MxWork to load those records. So let's say, for example, you want to change it to 20. You want to see 20 records at a time. Just change that to 20. Click Update Settings. It'll take you back to the home page. And it's now going to load 20 records at a time. So if we were to scroll down, there's now 20 records on that list. And it's going to load the next 20. And so on and so forth. So everything you've seen so far is what MxWork can do while you're online. But let's say you're logged into the app and you lose connection and now you're offline. Well, MxWork still has offline capabilities. For example, if you were to click on this menu and manually go offline, you can just click on the Go Offline button. So we're now offline. But let's say we want to go inside of a work order and we want to enter time against this work order, but we're offline. That's still possible. So you click on the menu, click on labor time, and put in the hours that you worked, and submit it. What's going to happen is that transaction is now going to be put under a pending transaction. So the next time you come online, that transaction will be processed into Maximo. And if you want to see that transaction, just click on the menu button, go to pending transactions, and you'll see that there is a pending transaction that needs to be processed. So if you were to go back online, click on the menu, click Reconnect, and then click Process Transaction. That labor transaction is now being sent back to Maximo. So let's go back offline and we'll see some more features that work offline. So let's go ahead and open up a work order. And let's sign a work order while we're offline. Let's go to Sign Woe, enter your signature, submit the signature. That's now a pending transaction that needs to be processed, and it will be processed the next time you come online. Another thing that we can do offline is you can also attach a picture offline. Let's go there. Let's attach one from the library. Let's go ahead and attach that, and that'll be processed once you come online as well. Another thing that can be done offline is you can also change the status of a work order. So let's go ahead and start this work order while we're offline. So let's click on Start Will, and we'll change the status of the work order. Great. So now if you go to pending transactions, you'll see the 3 transactions that we just entered right here. Another way for these transactions to get processed when it's online is if you go to the menu, reconnect, and then go back to the home screen. Once your home screen loads the work orders, it's also going to process any pending transactions at the same time. So you'll see the number at the top left went from 3 to 1, meaning that all the transactions got processed. Thanks for watching this video on A3J Group's Maximo solution, MxWork, from the MX Mobile suite of apps. For more information, you can go to our website at a3jgroup.com or connect with us on LinkedIn or Twitter. For inquiries, please email info@a3jgroup.com or give us a call at 877-235-4774.